Hi and welcome. Today we're talking about extreme sports for the extremely cautious.
Too right.
I'm your host, Julie, the cautious one. And with me is our friend, the extremist, Koala Kev. Can we call you Kev?
Absolutely, Julie.
Okay. Today, we're getting ready to go spelunking. I've no idea what spelunking is, and quite frankly, I'm afraid to ask, but it's my job, so here I go. Kev?
Present.
What is spelunking?
Spelunking is the exploration of caves.
I knew I wouldn't like it.
It's going into dark, often tight and dangerous spaces to see what's inside.
I know what's inside. Bats! Lots of bats, and I'm scared of bats.
Oh, it's not just bats.
Oh, you are not making this any easier for me to want to go.
Come on, Julie. I chose something that doesn't involve falling from huge heights or diving into the water. We will have flashlights, and I'll be with you the whole way. It'll be fun.
No, thanks, Kev. I have this thing about tight spaces ever since I read that story of Jacob in Genesis.
Oh, Jacob never went spelunking.
No, but he got himself in a pretty tight spot with his brother Esau.
Right.
Let's check out our story, and then maybe you'll understand.
All right.
Abraham had one son, named Isaac. Isaac ended up marrying Rebekah. They had twins, and they named their precious twin boys Jacob and Esau. Even though Jacob and Esau were twins, they didn't look anything alike. Jacob liked to stay inside and do peaceful things. Esau was hairy, and he loved to play outside and hunt animals. Since Esau was the first of the twins to be born, he was the one who would get the family birthright and inheritance. One day Jacob was outside the tent cooking some stew. Esau had been hunting in the field all day. He was exhausted from the hard work of looking for wild animals. He was famished. As Esau got closer to the tents, he smelled a delicious smell. It was Jacob's stew. "Jacob," Esau shouted to his brother, "let me eat some of that stew you're making. I'm tired and hungry." Jacob was a trickster. He told Esau, "Okay, but give me your birthright in exchange." "Fine, I'm about to die of hunger. I don't care about the birthright. Just give me some stew," Esau roared. Esau grabbed the stew and some bread and devoured it as fast as he could. Esau had just rejected his birthright, the precious family inheritance. Many years later, Isaac, their father, was old and dying. It was time to give the family inheritance to his oldest son, Esau. "Come here, Esau," he said. "I'm old. I'm going to give you the blessing of the birthright. But please, make me some of my favorite stew." While this happened, Rebekah, their mother, listened in on the conversation. She loved Jacob more and wanted him to have the family inheritance. So she devised a scheming plan. "Quick, let's make a plan," Rebekah told Jacob. "Instead of Esau, you're going to get the food and get the birthright blessing." "But Esau is hairy. I'm smooth. Esau smells like the outdoors, and I don't. Dad is going to know I'm tricking him. He'll curse me and not bless me." "Don't worry. I'll take the blame and the curse. Just do what I tell you," Rebekah said. So they made food, then took goat skin and tied it on his neck and arms. Jacob even dressed himself in Esau's clothes, so he would smell like Esau. Isaac was so old that he was nearly blind. Hopefully he wouldn't be able to tell that it was Jacob instead of Esau who came to get the birthright. Jacob went to his father, pretending to be Esau. "My father, it's me," Jacob said, trying to make his voice low and gruff like his brother. Who are you?" his father said in a feeble voice. "It's me, Esau. I did what you wanted. Here's your food. Now, please bless me." "But how did you find it so quickly, my son?" Isaac asked. "The Lord, your God, granted me success. Jacob lied. Isaac wasn't convinced. "Come here. I want to feel you to see if you're really Esau." Isaac patted his hands and his neck and felt the goatskin that his mother had put there. Strange. The voice sounds like Jacob, but the smell is Esau's. The hairy skin is Esau's. So Isaac ate the food and then gave Jacob the blessings. "Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers." There and then, Isaac gave Jacob the inheritance and blessing of the firstborn, just as Rebekah planned. Hours later, Esau returned from the hunt and prepared his father's favorite stew. He came into the tent and gave his father the stew, waiting for Isaac to bless him. "What? Who are you?" Isaac asked in trembling confusion. "Your firstborn son Esau, of course," Esau replied. "No. Oh, no!" Isaac trembled violently. "Then who came in before you? I blessed him instead of you. He got the firstborn blessing." Esau hated Jacob. He had been robbed of his blessing, his whole life's reward for being the first son of his father. It was time for Jacob to get out of town because Esau wanted to kill him. Lying and tricking people always creates problems. What Jacob and Rebekah did was very wrong. Jacob would pay the consequences of his actions.
Julie, Jacob got into that tight spot because of his own sinful mistakes. He deceived his father and stole from his brother. His behavior was very deceitful.
It's true. Jacob had no one to blame but himself.
Too right. If Jacob had chosen honesty, he never would have ended up in that tight spot. He could have stayed in the light. But how good is it to know that God is bigger than our sin? Years later, God helped Jacob reconcile with his brother.
I know. Doesn't it have a happy ending?
We've all messed up like Jacob and Rebekah. The good news is that God can use our broken and messed up situations for his good work. That's what he did with Rebekah and Jacob when they were trying to do things their own way. Through Jacob's family line, God would eventually send the Messiah, Jesus. And it's because of Jesus that we can all ask God to forgive us when we sin and mess up. It's comforting to know that God knows everything. And no matter what happens, he's good, and we can trust him. God is bigger than our sin. I can trust him.
Hey, that's our bottom line for today. Let's say it together. God is bigger than our sin, and I can trust him.
Of course, it's best to follow God's way the first time. But when we mess up, we can remember that God is bigger than our sin, and he will work things out for his glory. That reminds me of our new Bible verse. I wonder if you can help me with this, because I'm very bad at the actions.
Okay.
But let's stand and we'll show you how it goes. God is able to do far more than we could ever ask or imagine. He does everything by his power that is working in us. Ephesians 3:20. Oh, I got to do it a little better than that. Let's say it all together now. God is able to do far more than we could ever ask or imagine. He does everything by his power that is working in us. Ephesians 3:20.
You can have a seat, friends. That's a great verse to remind us that God is always at work in our lives, and that when we mess up, he forgives us.
Too right. It's good to know God forgives us when we ask him to, and nothing brings home the feeling of God's forgiveness like being in a dark cave.
No.
Crawling out of that tight space and stepping into the light.
I'm not going spelunking, Kev.
Okay, Julie, but it's your loss. I'll tell the bats you said hello.
Well, I'm just going to go and sit over here and read a book.
Cheerio.
Cheerio. Thanks for joining us, friends. Bye.
If there's one thing everything he does.